So the real question is not how to be smarter. It's what are you willing to stop doing to stop suffering from your own mind? Because intelligence is not what you add to your life. It's what you finally have the courage to leave behind. Let me ask you something you already feel but rarely say out loud. Why do you feel exhausted at night, even though you didn't run a marathon? Why does your mind feel heavy, even when nothing terrible happened today? Why do you lie down to sleep, and instead of resting, your brain starts playing old arguments, future fears, and conversations that never happened? Most people think intelligence is about solving problems faster, getting better grades, making more money, winning arguments. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Highly intelligent people don't actually do more things right. They simply do fewer things wrong. And the most painful part, the things they never do. You probably did before breakfast this morning, maybe while brushing your teeth, maybe while scrolling in bed, maybe while sitting in traffic, already angry at a day that hadn't even started yet. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will realize that your daily mental exhaustion is not from life being hard. It is from you doing 5 invisible things that secretly steal your peace, and you didn't even know they had a name. Let me say that again. You did not know they had a name. That is not your fault, but now you will. And once you see them, you cannot unsee them. Let's begin. Number 1. They never argue with reality. Most people wake up and immediately start fighting the world. Watch yourself tomorrow morning. Really watch. The alarm is too loud. The bed is too cold. The coffee is too weak. The news is too depressing. The traffic is too slow. The boss is unfair. The weather is wrong. The neighbor is annoying. The phone is lagging. By 9 a.m. you have already fought 20 small battles, and you lost every single one, not because you are weak, because you were fighting things that cannot be defeated. Here is a psychological fact from acceptance and commitment therapy. Suffering begins the moment you demand that reality be different from what it is. The technical term is experiential avoidance, but plain English is better. You're saying no to what already happened. And saying no to a fact does not change the fact, it only changes your blood pressure. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, wrote this to himself nearly 2,000 years ago. He was not writing for an audience. He was writing to survive. He said, "To complain about anything is to accuse the nature of the universe." Think about that. Every complaint is secretly a philosophy. You are saying the universe got it wrong. But the universe does not listen to complaints. The rain does not stop because you are angry. The plane does not arrive faster because you are frustrated. The past does not rewrite itself because you cry about it. Highly intelligent people do something strange. They do not argue with what already is. They look at a flat tire and say, "Okay, now what?" They look at a rude email and say, "Okay, what's the next right action?" They look at a cancelled flight and say, "Okay, what can I control from here?" The average person wastes 20 minutes fighting the flat tire in their mind. Why me? This always happens. I just fixed the other one. I'm going to be late. Now my whole day is ruined. That is not a small habit. That is a slow death by 1,000 small resentments, each one tiny. Together, heavy enough to crush your joy. Let me give you a real practical example. 2 people are stuck in a long grocery line. Person A stands there, shifting weight from foot to foot, sighing loudly, checking their watch, thinking, "Of course, only 3 cashiers. This store is terrible. People are so slow. My lunch break is disappearing." By the time they reach the front, they are angry, and they take that anger to the car, to the office, to their family. Person B looks at the same line, thinks, "This is the line. It exists. Fighting it changes nothing." Then they do one small thing. They take 3 deep breaths. They notice the colors of the candy wrappers. They remember a funny story from last week. They arrive at the front calm. Their lunch break is the same length, but their nervous system is not on fire. Same reality, different suffering. That is intelligence. Here is your application for today. The next time you feel the word should or shouldn't rising in your chest, pause, say out loud, quietly if you are in public, "It is already this way. Now what?" That one sentence will save you more mental energy than any meditation app ever will. Try it in traffic. Try it in a meeting. Try it when your child spills milk on the floor. Why does this matter to you right now? Because you are not tired from work. You are tired from fighting things that are not fighting back. You are boxing with the weather, and the weather always wins. 2. They never seek constant agreement. This is where most people lose their minds without knowing it. Look at your phone. How many times today have you checked if someone liked your post, agreed with your comment, or validated your opinion? Be honest, not judging, just watching. There is a famous psychological finding called the need for social approval. It is not weakness. It is human. We are tribal animals. Thousands of years ago, if your tribe disagreed with you, you might be left outside at night, alone, in the dark, with wolves. So your brain is wired to treat disagreement as danger. But here is the difference. Average people never update that old wiring. They need agreement to feel safe. They change their opinions to match the room. They laugh at jokes they do not find funny. They stay quiet when they have something real to say. They feel a low hum of anxiety whenever someone sees things differently. Highly intelligent people have learned a hard truth from Friedrich Nietzsche. He said, "You have your way, I have my way. As for the right way, it does not exist." Let me say that again slowly. As for the right way, it does not exist. That is not relativism, that is humility. It means your perspective is one window, not the whole sky. Let me give you a real example. Two friends talk about money. One says, "You should always save. Spending is dangerous." The other says, "You should invest in experiences. Life is short." Most people immediately feel a knot in their stomach. They start defending. They raise their voice. They bring up statistics. They feel personally attacked. Why? Because they have tied their identity to their opinion. To question the opinion feels like questioning the person. The highly intelligent person does not feel attacked. They feel curious. They ask, "What life experience made you see it that way?" Not to win, to understand. Because they know something the average person forgets. Two opposite things can both be true for two different people. Here is your practical test. Tomorrow, say something slightly unpopular in a safe conversation. Nothing cruel, just honest. For example, "I actually don't enjoy that show everyone loves." Or, "I think social media makes me more tired than connected." Notice how your chest tightens. That tightness is the addiction to agreement. Do not run from it. Breathe into it. Let it be there. And speak anyway. Carl Jung, the great psychologist, noticed that people who cannot tolerate disagreement are actually afraid of losing their own identity. They need others to mirror them back to themselves. You agree with me, so I exist. That is fragile intelligence. That is a self that needs constant applause. Real intelligence says, "I can hold my view and still respect yours. Nothing is threatened. My worth is not on the table." We are just two humans seeing different sides of the same elephant. Let me give you a marriage example. A husband says, "The house is too cold." The wife says, "It feels fine to me." Most couples would fight about who is right. That fight has no winner, because temperature is subjective. A highly intelligent person says, "Interesting, you feel cold. I don't. Let me get you a blanket." No argument, no winner, just warmth. So the next time someone disagrees with you, Do not explain. Do not defend. Do not rehearse your counter-argument in your head while they are still talking. Just say, "That's interesting. Tell me more." That single sentence will make you calmer than 99% of people, and it will make the other person feel heard. That is not weakness. That is strategy. Why does this matter tonight? Because you have been wasting years trying to make everyone see things your way. That is like trying to push the ocean into a cup. Stop. Let people be wrong about you. Let people disagree. Let people misunderstand. You do not need a jury. You need peace. 3. They never react immediately to emotion. Let me describe a scene. You receive a text message. It says something vague. "We need to talk." Or, "I can't believe you did that." Or just a period where there is usually an emoji. What happens next? Most people's heart rate jumps, their palms sweat, their stomach drops. They type a long defensive message. They hit send, and then they spend the next 6 hours replaying the conversation in their head, changing words, imagining different outcomes, feeling the same shame or anger over and over like a song stuck on repeat. Research in effective neuroscience shows that an emotional wave lasts only 90 seconds in your body if you do not feed it with thoughts. 90 seconds. That is less than one pop song. That is the time it takes to boil water for tea. But most people feed that wave for 90 minutes, then 90 days, then 90 years. How? By telling themselves stories. "He always does this." "She never listens." "This proves I am not good enough." Each story adds fuel. The emotion does not die naturally. It is murdered by overthinking. Highly intelligent people have discovered a secret that monks and philosophers have known for centuries. You are not your first reaction. Your first reaction is your conditioning. Your second reaction is your choice. Let me say that again. Your first reaction is your history. Your second reaction is your freedom. Marcus Aurelius again, because he never gets old. You don't have to turn this into something. It does not have to disturb you. Read that line slowly. It does not have to disturb you. Most people assume that if they feel anger, they must act angry. If they feel fear, they must run. If they feel shame, they must hide. No. You can feel the wave and let it pass, like a cloud, like a dog barking behind a fence. Here is your simple, practical application. The next time you feel anger, shame, or panic rising, do not open your mouth. Do not open your phone. Do not open your email. Do not open Twitter. Put your hand on your chest. Breathe in for 4 seconds. Breathe out for 6 seconds. Count 10 breaths. That takes about 60 seconds. Then ask, what would a calm person do right now? Not a perfect person, not a saint, just a calm person. What would they do? Probably nothing. Probably wait. Probably gather more information. Probably go for a walk. Probably sleep on it. I will give you a real detailed example. A woman named Sarah received an angry email from her boss at 4 p.m. on a Friday. The boss wrote, "I am very disappointed in your work on the Johnson project. We need to talk Monday." Sarah's old habit was to reply immediately, defending herself, write 5 paragraphs, attach evidence, CC someone higher up. That always made it worse. It turned a conversation into a war, but one day she tried something different. She wrote the angry reply in a notebook instead of an email. Every word she wanted to say. All the fire, all the defense. Then she closed the notebook. She went home. She slept on it. Saturday morning she opened the notebook, read her angry words, and laughed. Not because they were wrong, because they were emotional. She wrote 3 neutral sentences instead. "Thank you for letting me know. I would like to understand your concerns better. Let's talk Monday at 10 a.m. Monday came. Her boss said, I was having a bad day. The Johnson project is fine. I overreacted. Sorry. Sarah did not win a fight. She avoided one. That is intelligence. That is the difference between being right and being free. Why does this matter tonight? Because most of your deepest regrets, the ones that wake you up at 3 a.m., come from the 6 seconds you reacted instead of the 60 seconds you could have waited. A text you should not have sent. A word you should not have said. An email you should have deleted. A decision you made while angry. The highly intelligent person knows nothing important should be decided in strong emotion. Not love, not war, not business, not goodbye. Wait, breathe, then act, or do not act. Both are better than reacting. 4. They never confuse busyness with progress. This one hurts, because we all do it. And we are rewarded for it. Look at your to-do list right now. Actually picture it. How many things on it are just movement, not results, just noise, just activity, just the appearance of effort? Most people fill their day with small, easy tasks so they can feel productive without facing the one hard thing that actually matters. Answering emails, organizing files, rearranging the kitchen, cleaning the desk, making lists, color-coding the calendar. All of these feel like work. They make you tired. They give you a small dopamine hit of completion, but they are not progress. Psychologists call this performative effort. You look busy, you feel busy, you tell your friends you are busy, but you did not move your life forward 1 inch. Highly intelligent people have a quiet rule. They ask every morning, what is the one thing that would make everything else easier or unnecessary? Then they do that thing first, even if it is uncomfortable, even if it takes only 30 minutes. Even if no one sees them doing it. Let me give you a painful example. You have a difficult conversation you need to have with a family member. It will take 20 minutes. It will be awkward. You avoid it. Instead, you clean the entire house. You do 3 loads of laundry. You organize the pantry. At the end of the day, the house is beautiful, but the conversation is not had. The relationship is not better. You are exhausted. And nothing changed. That is the trap. Hard things are avoided, easy things are done. Busyness becomes a drug to numb you from your real life. Here is the truth from research on human energy and decision fatigue. Your willpower, your focus, your clarity, they are highest in the first 2 hours after waking. Most people waste that golden window on email and social media and news and notifications. By the time they get to the important work, their brain is already foggy. Then they blame themselves for being lazy. But they are not lazy. They are just poorly scheduled. They gave their best hours to the lowest value tasks. Let me give you a practical example. 2 writers are given the same deadline. Writer A wakes up, checks email, sees 12 messages, replies to 5, scrolls Instagram for just 10 minutes, which becomes 40, makes coffee, sharpens pencils, reads just 1 article for research, which becomes 12 articles. At 4 p.m. they panic. Their brain is tired. They write something average. They feel guilty. They work late. They are exhausted. Writer B wakes up, turns off the phone, puts it in another room, writes for 90 minutes without interruption. No email, no social media. Just the hard work. By 10 a.m., the difficult part is done. The rest of the day, they answer emails slowly. They scroll guilt-free. They go for a walk. They sleep well. Same hours, same deadline. Totally different results. Writer B is not smarter. Writer B just protected their morning. Nietzsche once said something that sounds harsh, but is actually freeing. The great majority of people lack an intellectual conscience. He meant they do things without ever asking, does this actually matter, or does it just feel like it matters? Let me ask you directly, right now. Think about yesterday. How many things did you do that did not actually need to be done? How many emails did you answer that could have waited? How many small tasks did you complete while the big ones sat there, untouched, getting heavier? So here is your application. Tonight, before you sleep, write down your one real priority for tomorrow. Not 5 things. Not 3 things. One thing. One thing that, if you did nothing else, would make the day worthwhile. Then do that thing first. Before your phone. Before your coffee if you can. Before the world gets its hooks into you. That single shift will make you feel less busy but more alive, less tired but more done. Because busy is not the goal. Done is the goal. Peace is the goal. Progress is the goal. Noise is not. 5. They never try to control what they cannot control. Here is the biggest hidden drain on your mind. Bigger than all the others combined. You worry about what your neighbor thinks of your car. You stress about whether your friend replied too slowly. You obsess over the weather on your vacation next month. You lie awake thinking about what someone said 3 years ago. You replay conversations that never happened. You imagine disasters that probably never will. All of these are outside your control. Completely. Totally. Not 1% inside your control. And yet, you spend hours every day trying to manage them, to predict them, to prevent them, to fix them, to change them. You are trying to hold smoke. Epictetus, a great Stoic teacher who was born a slave and became free, said something very simple. He said, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not. If you think what is not up to you is up to you, you will be troubled. You will blame the gods. You will blame your neighbor. You will never be at peace." Let me say that again. If you think what is not up to you is up to you, you will be troubled. That is not opinion. That is physics of the mind. Highly intelligent people draw a very clear circle. Inside the circle, your thoughts, your choices, your words, your actions, your values, your responses. Outside the circle, everything else. The economy, the election, the past, the future, other people's opinions, the traffic, the rain, the stock market, what your mother said when you were 12. Most people live their whole lives outside the circle. They feel helpless, angry, anxious, and exhausted because they are trying to push a river with their bare hands. They are trying to hold back the ocean with a broom. Let me give you a practical example. You are waiting for a text back from someone you care about. It has been 4 hours. Your mind starts spinning. Did I say something wrong? Are they ignoring me? Are they angry? Did they lose interest? You check your phone 40 times. You feel sick. Now draw the circle. Is there response time inside your control? No. Is there mood inside your control? No. Is your breathing inside your control? Yes. Is your decision to check your phone once an hour inside your control? Yes. Is your choice to stay calm inside your control? Yes. The highly intelligent person says, "I cannot make them text, but I can choose to live my life while I wait." Then they put the phone down. They go for a walk. They read a book. They cook dinner. If the text comes, it comes. If it does not, they will be okay. Not because they do not care, because they refuse to suffer twice. Here is your application. Draw that circle on a piece of paper right now. I mean it. Pause the video if you need to. Draw a circle. Put your name in the center. Write inside, my effort, my response, my choices, my words, my values. Write outside, everything else. Every time you feel anxious today, ask, is this inside or outside my circle? If it is outside, you have permission, actual, real permission, to stop thinking about it. Not to be cold, not to not care, just to stop suffering over something you cannot touch. I will give you a real example. A man named David was stuck in traffic on the way to an important meeting. His old self would honk, curse, text, I'm late angrily to everyone, call the office, apologize, feel his blood pressure rise. That never helped. The traffic did not move faster. The meeting did not go better. He just arrived angry and exhausted. One day he tried the circle. He said out loud, "The traffic is outside my circle. My response is inside my circle." He turned off the angry thoughts. He put on an audiobook. He arrived 30 minutes late, but calm. He walked into the meeting, said, "Sorry for the delay. Traffic was outside my control," and sat down. The meeting went fine. His calmness surprised everyone. One person even said, "You look relaxed for someone who was stuck in traffic." That is the power. Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Most people do not realize they are constantly fighting unwinnable battles. They think the anxiety is normal. They think the exhaustion is just life, but it is not. It is a choice, an invisible choice. Until now, once you see the circle, you cannot unsee it. Once you realize you have been fighting ghosts, you stop bleeding from phantom wounds. Why does this matter right now, at this moment? Because you have been carrying a bag of rocks that do not belong to you. You have been trying to solve problems that are not yours to solve. You have been trying to control people who are not yours to control. And you are tired, not from life, from pretending you are God. You are not God. You are a human. And that is actually good news. Because humans only need to control one thing, their own mind. Everything else is a bonus. Everything else is grace. So let us land this plane, gently. You came here maybe wanting 5 clever tricks, 5 hacks, 5 things to add to your morning routine. But that is not what you got. You got 5 things to stop doing. Because subtraction is often smarter than addition. Let me walk you through them one last time, not as a recap, as a mirror. You stop arguing with reality. You stop saying, "This shouldn't be happening," to things that have already happened. You save your fight for things that can actually change. You stop needing constant agreement. You stop checking if everyone approves. You let people think what they think. You keep your peace. You stop reacting immediately to emotion. You learn to wait, to breathe, to let the 90-second wave pass before you open your mouth or your phone. You stop confusing busyness with progress. You stop filling your day with small, easy tasks that feel like work, but change nothing. You do the one hard thing first, and you stop trying to control what you cannot control. You draw the circle. You stay inside it. You let the rest of the world spin without you needing to hold it. And here is the deeper shift, the one I promised at the beginning, the transformation. Most people believe intelligence is about doing more clever things, learning faster, remembering more, solving complex problems. But after everything we have explored today, from Marcus Aurelius to CarlJung, from Epictetus to Nietzsche, from neuroscience to ancient Stoicism, the truth is simpler and harder. Intelligence is the ability to recognize a trap before you step into it. And most of your daily suffering, the exhaustion, the anxiety, the heaviness, the irritation, the regret, is not a tragedy. It is a trap. A trap you were taught to call normal. A trap your parents were in. A trap your co-workers are in. A trap that feels like life, but is actually just habit. You do not need more willpower. You do not need a better app. You do not need to wake up at 4 a.m. or take cold showers or do a juice cleanse. You need to stop participating in your own exhaustion. You need to stop feeding the wrong wolf. The philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein once said, "The solution to the problem of life is seen in the vanishing of the problem." He meant that some problems disappear not when you solve them, but when you stop doing what creates them. That is what we are doing here. We are not solving your tiredness. We are removing what causes it. If this video made something click in your chest, not just in your head, but somewhere deeper, somewhere quiet, then you are exactly the kind of person who will not forget this feeling tomorrow morning when the phone buzzes and the old habits knock. Because knowing is not the same as doing, and doing is not the same as being. But videos like this are not meant to change you in one sitting. They are meant to plant a seed that grows while you sleep, a seed that makes you pause tomorrow before you argue with traffic, a seed that makes you wait before you send that angry text, a seed that asks, "Is this inside my circle?" I make these videos for people who are tired of running on a hamster wheel that they built themselves, people who suspect that their exhaustion is not from working too hard, but from worrying too much, people who want calm, not just productivity, people who want freedom, not just success. If that is you, do not subscribe, because I asked. Subscribe because you want to solve the next psychological pain point, and here it is. The next video answers this question. Why do smart people often feel lonely, and what can you do about it without pretending to be someone you are not? Because here is a quiet truth we have not said yet today. Highly intelligent people often feel like outsiders, not because they are arrogant, because they see patterns others miss. They ask questions others avoid. They feel things others numb, and that can be lonely. The next video is about that loneliness and how to turn it into depth instead of isolation. That video is already waiting for you on my channel, one click away. But for now, before you click anything, close your eyes for 5 seconds. Just 5. Take one slow breath and admit to yourself one of these 5 things you did today. Maybe more than one. That is not shame. That is honesty. And tomorrow, you do not have to do it again. Not because you are perfect, because you saw it. And seeing it is the beginning of leaving it. That is not failure. That is freedom.